Welcome to today's episode of Dungeon Master Deep Dive. My name is Mason Edwards, and I'm the Dungeon Master and creator of Arcane Adventures. Today, I'm here with Anna Flores, who serves as the official Arcane Adventures lorekeeper. We're going to ask her some questions and getting into the lore with her. So, without further ado, let's dive in, literally. Welcome, Anna. Thanks for joining us for today's episode of Deep Dive. Well, for starters, could you just give a brief introduction for yourself?
My name's Anna. I am out of school, thank God. And so now I have nothing to do in my free time, and I'm playing D&D instead.
What a perfect way to fill that. Great. So I ask all the players this question, but I'm going to ask you this as well. What is your experience with D&D/TTRPGs?
I've been involved with like D&D and that kind of gaming style since about 2016, 2017. I've always been interested in it. I had watched a few shows beforehand, but I wasn't allowed to play it growing up. So once I moved out of the house and had my own place, whenever my friends invited me to join, I finally said yes. And I started up a campaign with them that ran for a few years. Haven't had one for a while, though. I'm looking forward to it again.
Yeah, very cool. I feel like we all kind of have that experience, you're like, we really want to play D&D, and then you're like, should we get involved in this? Maybe not. So, we're definitely glad to have you. So, moving on, as a kind of bookend question to that previous one, how did you get involved with Arcane Adventures, and more so, how did you become the official lorekeeper?
Well, I met you, Mason, in my physics class.
Yeah.
I saw you reading through a D&D manual.
Yeah.
And started bugging you with questions about it.
Yeah.
And then, like, 3 months later, you called me out of the blue and were like, hey, do you want to play a guest character for this campaign? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And then, so played that guest character, played a few more guest characters. And I don't know if you just saw the insane amount of notes I take on my own or what, but you asked me to be the official lorekeeper for whenever the campaign starts up again. And I said yes. It was super exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely was kind of random out of the blue. I was like, hey, I need someone to fill this spot. And I was like, oh, I remember Anna talking about like how much she loved D&D. I'm just going to give her a call. And here we are, a couple months later after that, and official lorekeeper. All right. What is your favorite part about being a member of our Arcane Adventures team?
I haven't gotten to meet everybody yet. I'm looking forward to it. But all of the people I've met so far have been really nice, really welcoming. Everybody's just let me jump right in with no issues. They've been really nice as far as like helping me. I've kind of fallen out of practice with D&D, and everyone's been so nice helping me catch back up and get into like new lore that's come out since I've stopped like actively playing. And I'm looking forward to meeting everybody else.
Yeah, we're kind of like a little close-knit like family. I mean, it's like a work crew, but like we're like a little like friend group and family. So we're definitely glad that you're a part of it. So I have seen the crazy amount of notes that you take, and you do catalog a lot of your work and note taking, and that also has kind of made itself apparent as the lorekeeper. So I've seen the literal plot web that you have pulled together. So are there any tips or tricks you could share about good note-taking strategies for all of our viewers?
I didn't take great notes growing up in school, so I had to find something that I cared about in order to take good notes about it. But it has been so fun cataloging every single bit of your lore. I just write down everything. Whenever we're in a session, it's like, oh, Mason mentioned a new object. There it goes on the page. So I write down everything, and then I go back later and I reread it and organize it more efficiently. Because it doesn't have to be organized when it's on the page. It's easier to organize afterwards, after like you're out of the moment and you have time to like clearly think through everything.
Okay. Is there any like tools that you use to like help you take notes with?
Yes, I discovered an app called Obsidian Vault, and I absolutely love it. It's what helped me create the literal plot web that you mentioned. It lets you create basically your own Wikipedia articles, and you can link them to other notes that you have in the app. And it's free unless you want to be able to sync it between devices, in which case there's a monthly subscription. But it's amazing. Life changing as far as note taking goes. I was just trying to do it in a Google Doc and it was not sufficient.
Yeah, I started note taking several years ago when this campaign was kind of very much in development and the world idea was very fresh, and I just started making different documents, and now I've got hundreds. So it's nice to know that you can compile them into one thing and just kind of bounce around in that one software. So talking on lore and notes, what is your favorite slice of lore that you've seen from our story so far?
Probably the whole Caldenhide thing. We I don't remember what the uh, session was called, but the fact that one wizard on his own was able to divide an entire continent in half out of just I mean, he was possessed by the orb, but just smugness. He just I can do this. I'll levitate a city into the sky. There'll be no repercussions, whatever. And then ended up creating two entirely new contents, absolutely failing at what he was trying to do, killing the entire city. I think that's very amusing.
Magical items they can be great things, but they can also be very bad things. And the Equinox Orb is just one of those. Awesome. So, what are you most excited about moving forward?
I'm excited to figure out who the BBEG is before everyone else in the party, because I'm actually paying attention to what you're saying.
Oh, okay. So now you're just continuing a long-standing DM deep dive tradition we have of throwing shade at people, and they'll hear it later. But we're here for it. Okay. Well, we'll see how well that goes if you're taking notes, and so we'll see if you can crack open the BBG before they all get some important lore drops.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Well, thanks again, Anna, for joining us today. Like we've said all of this time, it is literally a plot web that you've been compiling, and we're definitely excited to have you as part of our crew. And we're also ready for some more adventure. For now, though, that's all for today's episode of DM Deep Dive. We'll see you next time.